Yeah.
Oh!
I've spent the last week doing Crazy Crowd, man. Anyway,
Yeah,
welcome to Dork.
Hello, Dork.
It's Marky Euchrin and Steve Espinoza.
Nice.
My mother wishes.
And Larry Walker.
When are you gonna put a ring on that nice boy's finger?
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway, I got all excited. I've been watching Below Decks. Have I talked to you guys about this?
Oh, you and
Yeah, a
your,
little bit,
you,
yeah.
you and your
Yeah.
favorite reality show.
So man, we're just crushing through it. Like, it's hard. We're watching 3 of them at once because it started like I started watching Below Deck, and I told Walker, "This is fucking crazy. You're gonna love it." And so he started watching. He watched like 3 of them. Then he goes to school, and he's like, "You can't watch this." And I'm like, "What do you mean I can't watch this? This is the only thing that's fucking keeping me through the day." And he's like, "No, you can't. You get away from me." And so then Mimi hears about it, and she catches up, and she's like, "Yeah, we have to watch this together." It was Mediterranean, the Below Decks Mediterranean. So I swapped back to the other one, and then they got into that one too. It's like, okay, fuck, I got to do Below Deck Australia or whatever it's called with Captain Jason, and I cannot keep who's straight on what ship because I watch them all at once all the time, and the crews interact with each other on the different shows because it's been going on for a while. So like after like the 3rd season, they started another one, and so then the first captain got sick, and the second captain on her show hung out with him because they're anyway. I can't keep so they all anyway. So I love the chef
together.
I told you all that to tell you I love the chefs because that's what I do all day long. I never leave my house, and I feed my crew. And so I came up with this cool thing. It's I had some ginger powder, and I made simple syrup with a bunch of the ginger powder and threw in some lime juice. And this is like the best thing ever.
And that's your new Gatorade?
It's just because they try stuff all the time, and because they're 5-star Michelin chefs, it sometimes either wildly hits like, oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever had, or like, what in God's fucking name were you thinking? To the point where they served oysters with a splash of grenadine in the opened other shell. And so they were just doing it to provide some color in the ice and which is cool, except literally every single person at the table just went like you do with oysters. So oysters and grenadine, man. Think about that for a minute.
Yeah, it's probably not a combo.
There were 6 people, and 2 people instantly started throwing up. Because you're on the boat, you're going like this, and you got an oyster, which is a little dicey anyway, and then you have some syrupy liquid with it too. Oh my God.
I love that.
See, I like that you said I just got done making my thing, and I was like, okay, it's either food, an article of clothing, or like a contraption for a device you made. I was just
a Star Trek uniform.
Yeah.
That's what we did.
Anything.
We did that last weekend. I learned how to use my sewing machine. So
did
now
you make pillowcases? Is that what I saw?
Yeah, I made a pillowcase, and now it's just a matter of scale. I changed the rank parade on my Star Trek uniforms already. I took a blank one and put Commodore stripes on it. It was Stitch Ripper. I'm like,
you're an expert now.
Next time you go to a prom, I'll make sure to do your tuxedo. And
I love it. I just looked up that your Below Decks has 11 seasons, 171 episodes, but it also has spin-offs: Below Deck Mediterranean, like you were talking about, Below Deck Sailing Yacht, Below Deck Down Under, and Below Deck Adventure.
Yeah.
It's like,
we haven't done the Sailing Yacht or Adventure ones yet, but we will. It's great. Basically, Mimi and I were talking about why we like it, and I said because it's a car wreck. It's just this slow motion car wreck. Everybody's an archetype across all the episodes. That's why I can't remember it. So you can't, like in Lost, you're like, oh, there's the good looking guy, there's the cute girl, that's the lifeguard. You can do all that in regular shows, but it's like, here's the dumb chief stew, here's the idiot chef, here's the second engineer, and all of the people that fill those jobs all have a similar personality because that's what works for that job. Like you know, like Steve does his PR stuff, right? And you would never have like a landscaping guy do your copywriting. It's just
Probably not.
It's just but all copywriters and all landscapers share a similar like worldview because of the shit they have to deal with at their jobs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I mean, I like the premise of it. It's kind of cool. Like
Plus, as you know, I haven't had a job in the 21st century. So I'm just sitting there watching it with Walker going, dude, this is what living in a dorm is going to be like. You have work with everybody in college, which is your classes, but then you live with everybody too. Just don't fuck the crew.
Yeah.
Get somebody from a couple dorms over. So when you go to sleep, you can just fucking go to sleep and it's all your people.
Shitting where you eat. That's a valuable lesson to learn very early on.
Yes. You're gonna have to experience it anyway, though. But that's
I mean, you know, there's nothing I can do. I just tell them that stuff so I can go, nah, I told you. Sorry that girl cut off your little bit pinky finger, but you know.
It'll grow back.
That's what those memes were I was sending you about people with more fingers. You're gonna need them. Anyway. That's my nonsense for the day. It's up to you guys now.
Well, all right. Right before we jumped on, I just saw. Did you see that Sony announced a new Starship Troopers with Neil
District 9 guy?
Neil Blomkamp. I don't know how you pronounce his last name.
That's close enough.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, he's South African, so you know Blomkamp. You're close.
Yeah, I was trying to think of his films, which one I liked the most, and I'm wondering if it. I like Chappie.
Chappie's not bad.
But I like the one with Matt Damon, and I never know how to.
Elysium. I like that.
Elysium. Yeah.
Jodie Foster.
Yeah, I like that movie. I feel like, and then I didn't realize he did that Gran Turismo movie.
Mm-hmm. Also, District.
Yes. Okay.
District 9 too. That's the
one. Yeah. Well, that's the one that introduced everyone to what's his name, Charlito Copley. That's the movie that made. I again, if that's how you pronounce his name. So
Radar. Well, who was he in the 18 movie?
Yeah, Murdoch. Yeah, that was good. So, what is it? A show or a movie?
Right now, from what I'm reading, it's listed as a movie for Sony. So that's pretty cool. I'm like, all right,
why not? I'm excited about Ted Lasso 4, though. I think that's going to be cool.
I saw that.
How long has it been between seasons?
Well, I don't know, but they said 3 was it. So I have the feeling that it's been about a regular amount of time considering the strike and everything. But it is being received really well because we didn't think we were getting another one.
Well, it's now he's coaching a girls' team.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, he's coaching a girls' team, and then all I read is that it's a girls' team, and then they eventually make their way back to the UK.
So, how did the last season end then? Did it end? I don't know. Did it end like the show is over? Like, cool, we won our championship. I can go back to America, kind of thing, or?
Sort of, with the added thing that his family life was getting stitched back together. Because the conceit of the show is his wife wanted to divorce him, and that's why he took the job. Yeah. And so through the events of the 3 seasons, she sort of like saw what she loved about him originally, right? Huh. And so with the help of his son, What? AFC Richmond women's team that Keeley proposed to Rebecca? I bet Chris is right. I bet he actually knows that for a fact and is pretending like maybe. No, that'd be awesome. Because you have to explain why everyone is still together. It's literally everyone is back except for in front and behind the camera, except for Bill Lawrence, who's doing shrinking. So
right, I was gonna say it's the one guy's not back.
Yeah, but he couldn't, and he handpicked the guy to showrun it, which is somebody from 30 Rock. Totally gets the scene, right? There's no way that this isn't, even with the high expectations of a 4th season. There's no way this isn't going to crush it. Like, what's his name is still behind the Roy Kent, Greg Goldstein. He was
Hercules.
yeah, Hercules. Did you ever hear the press about that?
No.
He didn't tell his parents, and so he invited them to the movie, thinking it was going to be in the movie. But as the movie went on, he's like, oh, they're saving me for this, end credit sequence. So the whole time, his parents are like, "The fuck are we here for?"
Yeah, why are we here? That's awesome.
And he's just like, shh, just a minute, just wait.
It's coming. It's coming.
And then he shows up, and he looked at his parents. His dad is just smiling because finally he gets to go home and use the bathroom, apparently. But his mom lost her shit, which I think is really cool, right? Because she remembers having this baby and how, every single fucking thing and then all of a sudden he's a big fuckular, muscular, hairy Hercules Greek god on screen. And for 2 seconds, like they did that entire scene just for his mom.
That's
or his wife. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like nobody's gonna get it like the closest.
Well, no one's gonna cheer like those people, right?
And we loved it, but we're nowhere near his mom. I thought that was a really cute story.
I think the coolest part I just read, not about that, but about like what's going on with Marvel, is the Russo brothers supposedly have a deck of. Have you heard about this? They have a deck of cards of all of the characters / actors with all of the amount of movies they have left, because that's how many characters are supposedly going to be in these next few movies.
That's hilarious.
That they can't keep track, so they're trying to they have like a deck of cards of every actor and how many movies they have left, like to figure out how they're gonna story tell.
Oh, how cool is that? Is that the coolest thing next to the challenge coin? Like the actor character contract status, like you know what it reminds me of? When I heard it, it reminded me of the old Desert Storm pack of cards that they had. Stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the most wanted, the top. Yeah.
Saddam Hussein and Gaddafi. I remember that, the kill list.
Yeah, you could still get those.
How great is that though? That they're like, they come up with a good scene, and they're like, yeah, Nick Fury's going to be good in this. And part of their calculation is this scene good enough that we want to burn one of Nick Fury's?
Well, that's what I mean. Like, isn't that like from a storytelling standpoint? Like, I'm like,
we can't have Wolverine, And then you get down to it, it's like, I guess this is Sentry. I don't know. Right. Although I'm really excited about that. Louis Pullman is a great actor.
I heard it's getting good test screening. People are really excited and happy about it.
Well, I've seen the leaked images of him in the costume, and I think what I also read is that there is a clear I'm Bob, I'm Sentry. Like there is like a clear the guy was referencing he was referencing how he really turns on the actor like all of a sudden when he's Sentry he's completely not Bob,
right?
And I always go back to like the whole Christopher Reeves Clark Kent Superman kind of thing, where it's like if you can do that switch, that you're a good actor. You know what I mean? So anyway, they were saying like he does like a good turn in that.
That Christopher Reeve thing is
awesome.
That's legendary. Where he just he's going to tell Lois, and he goes, and he turns into a different guy right in front of your face. That is bananas. I love that. Anyway.
But I think isn't that also why that's why the line in the sand is he's the best Superman, and you can get other people to be that, but or maybe the best Clark Kent turning into Superman. I don't know. Like I feel like perfect casting.
That is definitely the role to beat, I think.
Controversial opinion. Christopher Reeve's best Superman.
Who do you think is better?
No, I'm being sarcastic.
Yeah, okay. He's like, who else do you have in that?
But really though,
I mean, come on,
Brandon Routh.
I always thought Tom Welling looked like a good Superman.
He looked like a good pre-Superman. Yeah.
Yes, totally. I agree. But it's one of those things where once you play an iconic character, are you is everything you've ever done after that, do you immediately say, oh, that's Superman? Oh, that's Superman in this movie. Oh, that's Superman in this movie. Do you know what I mean? Or like,
Yeah.
You have to be a pretty, I don't know. I'm trying to think of an actor that,
or
yeah, I'm trying to think of
like the Robert Pattinson of it all. Like, I feel like he's doing a really good job of, like, I just saw Mickey 17, and he plays such like a dweeb in that.
Oh, was it good?
Yeah, really good.
I can't wait to see that movie.
Very fun.
Our cousins are in from Maine, or I would have seen that already. Although it was fun going to dinner with our cousins.
Well, that director, I will honestly watch anything he does, and probably, yeah. I mean, that it's just everything he does is just spectacular.
Tim Daly's Superman was a deep cut for the cartoon guys.
Wow.
I actually watched that cartoon, believe it or not, off and on.
Really?
That Tim Daly did. Yeah. I would have it on. And he sounded like Superman to me. So nice job, Tim Daly.
One of my favorite episodes is Batman Goes Missing. So Superman dresses up as Batman and goes to Gotham. And at one point he gets cornered by 4 Batman's like rogue gallery people. And he's kind of like, really? Okay. But then he kind of gets his ass kicked a little bit, and he can't Batman it up the whole time. So he actually does have to kind of show the super strength and whatever.
Reach into a super bag of tricks.
Yeah.
That's cool. I love stuff like that where
that's pretty interesting.
Just in stories where somebody goes, oh, I'm literally walking in your shoes now, and I have a greater understanding of what you have to do.
Yeah,
that's cool.
This isn't so easy, man.
Walker was just telling me a cool thing about, we were talking about how Batman always wins. And he's like, yeah, but they did a cool thing in 52. And I'm like, well, tell me. I haven't read that. I'm not gonna. And he said there's a bit where Batman is showing off to somebody, and it might be Superman, actually. He's showing about all his contingency plans against the JLA if they somehow freak out. And that's not going to happen, but here's what I have to do. And so he goes through all of them, and like, here's even what you do for me. And so yeah, it is Superman. He goes, well, what about Wonder Woman? What do we do for her? And he opens up the little case, and there's nothing in it. And he's like, what do you mean? He goes, okay, I figured it out. The only way for me or you or anybody to beat Wonder Woman is to just battle her until she gets tired. Makes sense. Okay? And so that's really only gonna work for me as Batman, but I won't be able to take her. So I'm just telling you, there's no contingency. We just have to hope Wonder Woman doesn't freak
tires herself out.
I thought that was amazing.
That's super.
That was super.
I do like that.
I really like that.
Well, isn't there that I always go back to that famous comic panel? I don't know if it's famous, but the one that I always remember is where they're all holding the lasso.
Yeah,
it's Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman, and she's like, I'm Diana, blah blah blah, and then it's like Kal-El or Clark Kent, and then it's Batman, and he says, I'm Batman, and that's all it says. That's the panel, and it's like, dude, come on, that's like, I don't know.
I love that because she's using it as a baseline for the lasso of truth.
Right.
So no writer can come in and mess that up, right? Like, what's your name? I'm Diana Themyscira. What's your name? I'm Clark Kent, also known as Kal-El. And then
I'm Batman.
and you can't tell a lie. He's holding the truth. So yeah, that's a good one. What? So tell us about Mickey 17, or I'll start talking about Paradise with Mark.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't want to give away too much of it, but
it's satisfying though, right?
It is satisfying. Yeah.
I was telling my cousin at dinner actually about interior Chinatown, and I said, here's the thing. My good friend Mark said, I'm not spoiling for you, and it's weird as shit, but it comes to a satisfying resolution as an audience member. And I went, oh my God, that's going to be my new baseline for talking about stuff, is the Mark Espinosa line has been crossed. Entertaining? Yes, you live. Thank you. So that's all I need to know about Mickey 17.
And I have one question. Is there a Mickey 18?
Well, I mean, yeah, come on.
I imagine there's a million of them, right?
Well, that was my main question. Does it is 17 any significance in the story, or are there like 100?
Yes. Well, no, it's actually kind of funny because the movie starts with Mickey 17, and you're like, oh shit, okay. Going in, kind of already knowing the premise of what it's about.
Right.
It
Like, I
kind of
mean,
gives
you
you,
get it from the trailer too. So
yeah, but you
like,
get instant stakes because you're like, okay, if it starts off with Mickey 6, okay, well, you know, at least 9 or 10 of these guys are gonna die.
right.
Oh,
But you start
right,
with,
right.
yeah, you start off with him like in a like a situation, and you're like, oh wait, huh?
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love stuff like that.
Well, let me see. Can I find a copy?
Kind of like Puss in Boots when he starts the movie on his 9th life, and you're like, oh no, what are you gonna do? You know, come on.
That's cool.
Oh,
I'm
all right.
really looking forward to that.
I found a copy. Okay. All right. I know what I'm doing after this. Anyway. Anyway.
We also liked Paradise. I was talking
Paradise was great.
Ruthie and Jane into that, my cousins.
Oh wait, I
Mimi's-
think
Mimi's
sorry. Last time we talked, you hadn't finished it yet, but you're done.
I finished it. It was wildly satisfying. Can't wait for the next season, which has to happen. Although, if it doesn't, you kind of know where it's going. So if that's all they get, that was not a waste of time. I love that. I thought everything about that I thought was great, without being the stupid reveal thing that you get from M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dongs. That ooh, the trees are alive, or
Well, February
aliens hate saltwater. It's acid to them.
February 20th, they announced the second season, 6 more episodes.
Oh,
So-
fantastic!
So
So-
Hulu, right?
I don't remember.
Yes.
Walker keeps track of that for me. I sit at the couch with the volume for the soundbar and the controls for the TV, and I go, "What's whatever on?" And he's a human internet database, so he'll go, "Oh, that's Tubi, Daddy."
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I have just, I think my most used app is Just Watch. If you
figure
Which
out
has
how
been
to
kind of
use
falling off a little bit. Have you
really,
noticed that?
well, I think
Yeah.
more just because nothing is available anywhere anymore.
Oh, okay, I guess that's true.
I think
too.
that's more of
Ah.
what I'm learning is like, it used to be really great resource, and now it's like, wait, this isn't anywhere. I gotta pay for this. Oh no, I'm paying for this. I will find a copy of this somewhere.
That way, have we told you about this app? The Just
Yeah,
Watch
I
app?
got it. I
Okay.
got it, and I downloaded it, and I didn't find it that useful for how I interact with my TV, because I know what I want to watch. I just need to know where it is. And so opening up the app and clicking through all the stuff and going, here's the apps I have, here's the stuff I like. It didn't seem to be working faster for me than me just Googling it up and going, oh, it's on Apple and Amazon Prime, and I'll choose one.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Well,
Okay.
That's just me though. I see how Mimi loves it, and I see how if you're in the digital world, it's useful. But
I use it actually, like I use it when I'm like referencing something and I'm like, oh, I need to see if that's available. Or I actually use it whenever I'm doing my dopey articles and I'm always like, where is this movie available? Because it's kind of like pretty on point with that.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's what I need.
But yeah, I was using Letterboxd for a little bit too. I know Mark was, but then
I'm just using it to track my VHS at this point.
Is that all you use it for?
Oh, and the movies I'm watching this year, because for some reason I'm deciding to do that again.
Okay.
We just have a composition notebook next to my chair, and
You just write it down?
Yeah, Mimi thinks of something. She'll put it in the book, and it says old man TV guide on the cover. So we have like pages of stuff that you can kind of see. Every once in a while I'll write the date on it so you get an idea of like what was on that page. It's pretty fun. I mean, it's not going to be in the presidential museum or anything, but
Hey, you never know.
Oh, yeah.
Another book for San Diego Comic-Con.
oh my god, that would be funny. So other guys saying, oh yeah, Chuck Gilbert's going to Novocaine with his movie watching crew. I can't wait to see that. Man, Jack Quaid from Lower Decks plays a guy who can't feel pain. And so he's a regular guy and he ends up in some kind of like shoot 'em up thing.
And then
doesn't
what's
die.
his name? What's his name from Spider-Man's in it? So
Yeah. And Amber Midthunder, I think, from Prey. She's
Excellent. She was great in Prey. I'm glad that
I like that movie.
Another genre gig, because I won't see if she was like in some Merchant Ivory bodice ripper. I wouldn't see it. unless it was in French and called The Three Musketeers, then I'd see it.
So the directors did a movie called Villains first, which I feel like I've seen because I keep on watching it's with the guy who played the It clown, or no,
yes,
or no
Skarsgårds, right?
Skarsgård. I never know which one.
There's like a Helmsworth amount of them. So
yeah, I feel like I saw it, but now I'm looking at the cover and of the movie poster, and I'm like,
it sounds very familiar.
Same.
I gotta look it up.
And then it's got.
I think maybe it was popping up on Prime a little bit, but I never watched it.
And then it's got the Burn Notice guy. I can't think of what his name is. All I remember, he's either in Burn Notice or he's the military guy with the mustache in Sicario.
Oh yes,
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's like, welcome to Mexico. You know,
and I can't believe I don't remember his name, but I'll remember his name. It'll come to me. Anyway, but the director for the Novocaine, he did 2 movies I liked, so that'll be interesting. I'm sure that'll be good.
I love that trailer. That was great.
Yeah,
that was like that Beaver movie that Mark.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, just no, trust me. And I went and watched the trailer, and that was the last trailer before this one, where I was like, okay, I don't know what's going on here, but I get it, and I'm gonna strap in. Let's go.
Did I read that Thousands of Beavers it set some record or something like that?
Go on,
because I think it was like it cost. What did all right, I'm going to make this up, so I'm going to have to go back and check it. But I feel like they made it for like $100,000.
Okay.
It got mass released, and now it's made. What is it? It was made for $100,000. It then got released in the theaters, and it made all this money. And it's like, and it was voted on as the most requested physical media request from like all of the companies or something like that. I feel like I read some like crazy thing about it, but it's like, I also think I read that was one of the only independent films to receive like the most acclaim, like equivalent to like Eraserhead.
Oh, fantastic!
So it's like or something. I can't remember what it was. It was like, I don't know. I'll have to go back and read it.
I listened to a podcast, Blank Check, and they just talked about it for a little bit. And the one guy's like, he's pretty much said everything I said. He's like, most exciting movie I've ever seen. Probably my favorite movie of last year. I don't know where it came from. It just popped up one day and it blew my mind.
Yeah, that's what I found so exciting about it. Like, it just came out of nowhere with its own like particular vision, and I love shit like that. So
yeah.
So thank you, Mark.
Yeah.
I hear the people knocking around. I think Walker's here.
Oh, nice.
Boom, boom. Well, I actually heard your door open.
Yeah, he's in the middle of something. So
well, he did a movie, which I think you can find the trailer on YouTube, called Lake. I think it's Lake Michigan Monster.
Yes, I watched that as well.
Yeah, which I think is on Amazon or Tubi. I think it might be on Tubi. Yeah. Anyway, pretty funny.
What is it? Lake Michigan Monster? I'll have
Lake Michigan Monster.
Yeah. He plays like a salty old sea captain. I think it's kind of right up your alley.
Yeah.
Aesthetically.
Thank you. I appreciate that. The other day when it was raining, I put on my my Captain Katanga submarine sweater from Raiders and kind of like walked around. I was like, yeah, this is sea air out here on the beach.
I imagine you just grabbing like Mimi's hair, just being like, let us keep the woman.
Suffer our loss on this trip. Sagasag's right. Paradise was much better than I expected from the first app. I love that instantly. I was like, okay, I don't know, get what's going on, but I want to know.
And it was 6 episodes or 8 episodes?
I think it was 8.
Yeah.
Hey, Walker. Yeah. Was Paradise 8 or 6 episodes? 8. And he knows because his brain is fresher than ours.
It's funny. I was reading, there was someone was like bitching and complaining online, like how back in the day, like 20 years ago, we'd be on like maybe not a show like that, but it was. I think it was in regard to like Reacher, and they were complaining how like back in the day or 20 years ago, Reacher would have been on season 3 already, and we'd have like 60 episodes, and there'd be like one like oddball episode that doesn't fit the premise of everything, and now it's like you get 8 episodes, pretty well crafted, nothing funny or out of the ordinary or like oddball cameo, and then you wait like another 2 years for like another season, and it's just like it's the whole dynamic of like television has changed, where television was produced at a more frequent basis, and everything was like quicker in speed, and your films were the slow process, and now everything is the slow process. There is no quick turnaround stuff, and the only people that do that are the people that are kind of blowing up like independently. So think of like the Osgood Perkins, or like the Robert Eggers, like all the A24 guys and all like those new guys. They're like making movies quickly at like an old television director producer speed, as opposed to like, Christopher Nolan, we're going to hear about the Odyssey now for like the next like 4 years until it comes out. You know what I mean?
I'm not, because I just ignore it when I see the press.
Right, but you get what I like. So it's like you get people like Osgood Perkins, who's making like, seems like he's making a movie like every other day, and he's got another press release. So anyway,
the Star Trek guys get into that because there's like 10 or 12 episodes, and the prevailing feeling there'll be 2 sucky ones that are filler episodes from the old days, right? And it's like you can't do that anymore. Right. If you have 23, I think Walker and I were going into this, that if you have 23 episodes, you can bone a quarter of them, and people will just go, whatever, I'll see you next Wednesday at 8. It's like, that wasn't a good one. And you just sort of had the idea that you were watching TV, and you'd go and talk to your buddies about it at work after,
right?
Or turn your friends onto it. And that doesn't happen now because you can't. We all watch TV differently. They killed the whole water cooler thing because of coronavirus. So that's cool. And I get that a season is 8 or 10 or 12 episodes, but every single one of those has to be brilliant.
Well, that's what I mean. It has to be
wasting
awesome.
your time.
Right. Because the minute one drops in like view count, the studio's immediately like, I don't know if we're doing another one of these.
But it's not. Yeah, you're kind of right. But it doesn't. You don't even have to wait for the studios, because the audience instantly drops you, which is insane, right? I mean, nobody goes, that one was okay. No one does that anymore. They're just like, oh, nope, they lost me.
Well, they killed it. The season's done.
Right. It's like, whatever. Right? And it's an interesting thing because you can count. There are so many TV shows that every single one, you crush it. It's, Ted Lasso and Shrinking, and there's like whatever your favorite thing is. And then there's like, look, it's the Lord of the Rings, the appendices. And it's like, what? Like, there's who's asking for this show?
Ring
and of that, like, none of it matters. So the people who care, you're not giving them the stuff they care about. Which is a little of the Star Trek thing now.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's funny.
Going back to Paradise, Steve, if you don't watch that show, do watch that one episode 7.
Yeah.
I
agree.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that by itself is just worth it. You don't need to even see where it goes or what it is, but perfect.
I will watch it after I am done finishing The Killing at Outpost Zeta, which is what I started. Have you ever heard of that movie?
No, that sounds great though.
I'll let you, Mark. You can look it up and read the synopsis of this if you don't mind.
Oh my god! Ooh, Larry, you've never seen this?
I've never even heard of it. What's it called? Outpost Zeta.
Killing at Outpost Zeta. A team of men and women investigate the mysterious deaths of 2 previous expeditions to a strategically important but barren world.
From 1980.
Yes. And it is.
Jackson Bostwick's in it.
Is that Barry Bostwick's?
Yes, his
nephew.
His landscaper.
Okay,
who he adopted.
He is a producer, director, actor who is best known for his portrayal of Captain Marvel in the Saturday morning live-action TV series Shazam.
That's how I knew his name. He's the second Shazam.
Oh,
there were 2 Captain Marvels.
Anyway,
it's great.
It's super cheesy. Why I'm really digging it is because it's tough to explain, but it looks like they got like a warehouse, and all the scenes are it's like plain barren, like bright colored walls, and then it'll be like roofing like that.
Oh
yeah, corrugated metal,
and it's just like that's another wall, and it's just like every scene is in like I don't know. It's cool. The costumes look cool. It's super cheesy. But
you have to let me read you these 2 sentences. The killings at Outpost Zeta feels like a nice, long, painful root canal. Unbelievably slow with a 2-note soundtrack played on a xylophone. This movie is good for degreasing engines and killing brain cells. So already I have to go buy that. That exists
anyway
in my library.
Steve, how did this stumble into your life? This movie?
I was watching. I think it was either watching Raiders of Atlantis or Warlords of the Year 3000. Again, not great. And then it showed up as a recommended. So, and I was like, oh, I don't even know what this is. And I thought it was, and when I started watching it, I thought it was another movie. And I was like, oh, it's not that movie. And then I looked in my book and I was like, all right, an hour and 5 minutes, I can deal with that, or however long it is.
Part of that conversation I was having with Walker about A24 is that there's no real outlet for those kind of movies anymore. They used to have little studios like Corman and Lower, just generate stuff for drive-ins, right? And so there's really no need to do that anymore, because if you love it, there's the drive-in channel on Pluto, of course, or whatever.
Yeah.
And so you don't need new stuff, because you can watch crap like this until you're all dead anyway, right?
Well, I
can't wait to put that on, the Killing It.
Listen, I am 40 minutes in. It is not good, but
do I need to have seen Outpost Alpha through Beta and Theta to understand it? Or
I don't think so.
Right,
but
the misfiling of documents on Outpost Gamma.
But the costumes are cool, and
that's funny.
I'm watching in the background right now, and it's, I don't know. I like stuff like that. I like these.
Me too, man.
And and the beauty is, like, Tubi has, like, I don't know, 40 or 50,000 movies in their database. Like, I just made somebody like half a nickel by watching this, so I'm happy that
if that though, right?
Even if, yeah, exactly. So
speaking about movies you watch that you kind of have to rationalize to your partner and your friends.
Okay.
I just watched Hunter Killer again. Submarine movie.
You love that movie. How many times have you watched that? Or is this
8,000? Larry, have you seen this?
I haven't.
Who is the
Gary Oldman?
Sparta guy?
Oh, Gerald Butler. Gerald Butler.
Yes.
Okay. I love this already.
Gary Oldman. Common.
Yeah, man.
Oh, and the what's his name from the bad guy from the first John Wick?
Michael Nyquist.
Yes.
He's great.
I just read it.
Very awesome.
Oh, I was like, you know his name? That's damn impressive. I mean, I only know he's the bad guy in John Wick, or what's his name in all of the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo movies.
It's one of his last film roles.
Okay, sorry.
Yes.
Did he pass away?
Benzlik or something like that. What is it?
He did pass away.
The writer. Oh.
The writer is Arnie Schmidt and Jamie Moss, based on the 2012 novel Firing Point by Don Keith.
Dude, it's so great. And Gerard Butler is like the captain of the submarine who gets flown in last minute. He's like, I didn't go to your fancy schools. I worked my way up to captain. I'm a grunt like all you guys. I could do all your jobs better than you, but I won't. We're a team on this ship. I'm like, fuck yeah.
I totally remember the trailer for that, because that's only like what, 5, 6, 7 years old.
Oh,
right?
it's recent. Yeah.
So yeah, as soon as Gerard Butler's in it, I will get to it eventually because he's in my favorite Gerard Butler movie is Timeline. So I've probably seen that as much as you have Hunter Killer.
He's
I
so
just,
young.
I just keep, and I don't have to justify because Mimi knows I love time travel movies. But
Yeah.
every once in a while, she'll be like, "Really again?" And I'm like, "Come on, Francis."
There's-
What's her name?
My one favorite line in that is when they're all like locked up and they're like, "How are we getting our asses kicked by these guys who are like 100 years dumber than us?" Collectively, we have like future knowledge and like magic and shit. We're like locked in a cage with hay.
Who else is in that one? I forget who else is in that movie.
Billy Connolly is the professor they go see. Oh man, I love everything about that movie. It's just you can't try time travel too much because it's a copy of a copy and it introduces like small molecular errors. And if you do it, just you're gonna come back and hey man, sorry, your arteries just didn't line back up right, and you're dying on the sidewalk. And I was just like, oh fuck yes, this is just. And then the whole like, I'm gonna save the people I have to save so they can get back, but I'm gonna sit here and have a good life in the 1300s, being all awesome and whatnot. Like, oh yes, way to go, Gerard.
Michael Sheen's in that movie. I didn't realize that. I got to watch that again. It's been a very, very long time since speaking of submarine movies, Mark, have you ever seen a movie called Phantom?
Yes.
The Duchovny one?
Yeah, I feel like that was a New Jersey watch.
Oh, it could have been. Well, is that old? No. That's. I don't think it's that old. And I don't think we banned movie night that either. But I think that's the one with Mulder and Ed Harris. I think that's the Soviet one. I always get that. And then there's that one, and then there's
I'm thinking of Below.
Oh, Below. No, is Below the one with? And then there's another submarine one with Jude Law, which I can't think of what that one's called. There's like
not
you got
U-571.
Not U-571. What's the Jude Law one?
You're right about Phantom. That's Ed Harris and Duchovny and William.
Ed Harris. Okay. For a while, I don't know what it is. There's like a 5-year period where everyone was like, "Gotta make my submarine movie," and every single and for like 5 years, everyone made a submarine movie. Like Jude Law, Ed Harris. Well, Ed Harris,
Denzel.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, Crimson Tide is great.
Yeah.
Mimi loves Hunt for Red October, right?
I think I referenced it in. I think I referenced it in my article.
Oh yeah. So those 5 years when they were making all the U-571 and what was that wasn't the Harrison Ford one, was it? He did one like K9 or something.
K9 Widowmaker.
Widowmaker K19. Yeah. And yeah, man, we went to every submarine movie. She just loves submarine movies, and I'm like, I don't care. These are all Star Trek movies to me, right? They're wearing 20th century submarine suits. That's all. So I love it.
Supposedly, there's a really good Japanese one. I think it's on my Amazon recommended because I what's it called? Japanese.
The Silent Service.
That could be it. Let me see if that's the one.
It's funny. I typed in Japanese and it autofilled submarine movie.
Oh, Japanese submarine. Yeah, that's what it is.
Google,
yep, that's the one.
Wow, believe it or not, the second hit after Phantom 2013, your Ed Harris one, is Phantom, the submarine, about South Korea's first nuclear-powered submarine, the Phantom.
Oh, okay.
So listen, they're not Japan, of course. I understand the difference, but everybody's making submarine movies.
Yeah, there's a lot of submarine movies, man. Yeah. Anyway, I heard that's supposed to be pretty good, but it showed up
on the list, baby.
Yeah, I know you're getting all your submarine, and then you can finish it up with Down Periscope and call it a day.
Well, Kelsey Grammer, is that one?
Yeah, or McHale's Navy. McHale's Navy, is that the one with Tom Arnold?
Megashark versus Giant Octopus did have a submarine. Thank you, Chris.
Nice.
That counts.
As well. That's hilarious.
Is it Tom Arnold?
I don't know. It's Kelsey Grammer, I thought, right? Tom Arnold might be in it, but.
And I think Lauren Holly. I could be making that up.
Oh, there's a name I haven't heard since.
Let's see.
Since before you were born.
I got to look that up.
What
Anyone
else?
watching Daredevil?
Yeah, we
Daredevil?
watched. We're a little late. Like I said, we didn't catch Reacher this week, and I think are we one behind on Daredevil, Walker? Oh, we're caught up. He said.
Yeah,
Reacher. EJ was here in San Francisco, so
that's right.
man, we had a blast. Took him around, took him up to ILM, peeked in the windows, that kind of thing. But we had pizza burgers at our local place, and brought him back to the house, and just watched Daredevil because he hadn't seen it because he was traveling. And I'm like, the guy who is reviewing every single issue of Daredevil is going to sit down and have a good hamburger and just fucking watch Daredevil in my house. So I wanted him to watch the second one too, but he's like, no, let's go do something else. Okay. I was here. I'll put on season 3 of the Netflix one, man. Let's go.
What episode are they on in
3?
3
Of Daredevil? Yes.
Yeah. Are you caught up, Mark?
Yes.
Okay, because I heard it's like the 3rd episode is insane.
It's all right.
Well, the other thing I read is that Deborah Ann Wall and what the hell's his name? Eldon Henson, they're signed on for the next season.
Really? Wait,
Yeah.
Foggy Nelson?
Yeah.
No. Oh.
Which I don't understand because spoilers, I do know what happens. So I'm like,
Yeah.
But
so
yeah,
he gets shot in the first one, dead. Except he's 4th billing in the show,
right?
And
yeah,
so come on, everybody.
But
like,
it's
the Marvel universe.
But could it be the premise where like obviously it's so critical that they keep on going back and doing like it's I've watched 15 minutes into the first episode, so I'm waiting. But could it be one where it's like all flashback scenes of all these things, and he's like everything's a flashback with him in it? Larry?
Yeah, I mean, if next season could just totally.
You guys have read the comics, right?
Yeah.
So there's a thing where Vanessa, Kingpin's wife, sets up this thing with the FBI to fake Foggy's death. So I
read that online, but everyone's saying they weren't going to do that.
Of course, but you know.
Makes sense.
Fucking Benedict Cumberbatch isn't Khan either. Well, how could he be? He's English. No, he is. We just,
strange.
They already did the Born Again storyline for season 3 of the Netflix one, so they're not going to do. It's just going to be thematically Born Again, right? So they're just going to pull other shit in. And here's the thing: if that their original thought was just to be an 18 episode, just big long thing of Daredevil, right?
And I was going to put the bow on Daredevil and just be like, we did it, we're done.
We did it, goodbye.
Yeah, correct.
But they shot 6 episodes, man. They didn't finish them, but they shot the live action for it. And then the strike came, and Feige just went, yeah, that's not working. Let's do something else. Because none of those characters are back. Karen and Foggy, everything they loved about the audience loved about that show, wasn't in. And finally, they had enough time to go, why are we doing that? Why don't we just give them the cold ice cream that they want?
I'm telling you, we talked about this a while ago. I think Feige, however you say it, I think he took a little hiatus. And he kind of I told you, remember, I felt like he deputized a bunch of people to make decisions for him. And he kind of was like, let me spend some of this money and go see Fiji and surf and scuba dive. And then kind of came back and was like, oh, I mean,
my universe is
you
in
guys,
shambles.
but this is not how we do this. And it's like, do this, change this. Russo's, hey, I need you to make 2 movies. And how much does Robert want? Oh, $1 billion. I guess that's okay. He honestly came back, took the reins, and now shit is all that's why I feel like even the last the Captain America, the last Captain America, I felt like that was the first one I've seen that put itself in solid footing forward. I like the Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but I felt like this Captain America is the first one where it was moving in that direction. Didn't like the end credit scene. I was like, that's kind of uneventful, but I feel like it's the stepping stone for Thunderbolts, which will also be another stepping stone. I feel like he's back in charge. You can actually tell he's back in charge. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. You can. It seems like whatever was making the ship rock has steadied out now.
Right. Like I almost feel like they have the cadence of the advertising and marketing even better again. Like I felt like I was bombarded with the Captain America stuff, and I can't think of a movie before that Marvel that I got that. And I don't feel like I had, where I feel like the Captain America, like I feel like I mean, I know it's a couple of weeks out, but I still see some like trailing of advertisement for that movie still. And also more of the Thunderbolt stuff too.
Yeah, agreed.
Everybody's not so much for me. I'm not seeing a lot of advertisements for that.
Not now. Around Christmas, I was kind of being carpet bombed with the stuff I interact with. I'm not sure how or why, but yeah, it did seem to. That's why I thought the Thunderbolts was coming out in February and Captain America was
because the trailers, right? You're right.
All the ads were like full on, like, "Hey, time to go see it." And I was like,
"Well, they also."
Hey, Walker, what are you looking for, man? Stuff to read? Okay. I just wanted to know if I could help you or not, real quickly. You know what you should do? Read the first Nexus. You'll like that. Okay.
Who's that? Steve Rude?
Nexus? Yes. And Mike Barron. He's
got some. Are those guys ever at Comic-Con?
They had a weird falling out, man.
That's what I thought. I thought they were like, aren't they not? Is it
Mike? I've seen Mike all the time because he's buddies with Ken Levine. So, in fact, the first time I met him, I kind of blew him off because we were in the middle of something, and I had to come back and go, "Hey, man, I'm really sorry. I was being pulled in another direction, but I just want to say I've loved you for 20 years." And my old college roommate and I used to go, "What it is," because of the flexographic record on the Capitol Comics Nexus #3, and he's like, "Oh, so you're the guy who bought that?"
I was gonna say, yeah.
Like, yeah, and we memorized the record, man. It was amazing.
That's funny.
Anyway, so
is that First Comics? Is Nexus First Comics?
Is it now? I don't know. I know, kind of, maybe. I don't know. I mean, they have a relationship, right? I know that First was doing Badger, but
that makes sense.
I haven't really followed this because it makes me sad. Like, mommy and daddy got a divorce. But like Steve Rude can draw Nexus and write Nexus stories, but Mike can write Nexus stories, but they have to be novels.
Right. So I think my introduction to Nexus was through Dark Horse. That does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think those are the hardcovers I have. I have the
okay. Yeah. Okay.
I have all those in hardcover.
That's what what it is. It was one of those independent books where it's just like, oh, that looks cool. I'll read that. That's what it always registered in my brain.
Yeah, I read Nexus, Badger, and what was the other one? Capital City had 3 of them.
Oh,
I forget. But I read that because I was working in a comic store, so I read everything that came in, even if I didn't buy it, because somebody was going to have to have a conversation with people who are talking about it, right? That was great.
Sure.
So, New Comics Day was Friday. Whisper. That's what it was.
Steven I knew Badger.
Whisper. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. We tried to do Whisper again. We couldn't get anybody to draw it.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know.
The only Badger I know, because Badger I think that's McFarlane's first paid work is Badger.
Why, really?
You found that somewhere, didn't you, Steve?
I thought we did, right? Isn't that the claim to fame of Badger? Let me see.
That's what
I just like Badger because it was awesome.
Badger,
a Vietnam veteran that just goes and punches people. That's cool.
I'm in.
Let's see.
I kind of had to read it because
I got the wrong title.
What was it?
Coyote.
Oh, Coyote. Oh, that's
which I think is Eclipse.
Yeah, that's Eclipse, definitely.
That's McFarlane's first published paid work.
Wow, how cool is that?
Yeah. Coyote, I don't remember which number. I used to have it in my phone whenever you dig through long boxes and be like, I think I did find it once.
Yeah. Or
I don't remember what the title was or the number, but I feel like, oh, hey, this is first Todd McFarlane piece of work. And then I don't know, there's a lot of those weird ones where it's like, Joe, remember Joe Madureira or whatever that guy's name was? his like first was like on the back of like a Marvel Comics Presents or something like that, and like Sam Keith was like.
There's a really funny thing that's going on now about that. Like people will say the first appearance of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a spot illustration in Comic Book Buyer's Guide. Like,
Really?
I guess technically that has been published, but like, and those are the designs of the characters, but nobody knows who they are.
Right.
Yeah.
So how can that be first appearance in retrospect, right? The first appearance has to be Turtles #1. Because other than that, it's like, oh, well, Alex Ross's cover for Foot Soldiers, I have the color keys on acetate of that. And so that's technically Alex Ross art. So somebody give me 15 grand for this.
Well,
product.
I actually,
it doesn't make any sense.
The, where your booth is at Comic-Con?
Our booth, buddy. It's not my
Well,
booth.
I know. Listen.
booth.
I know who signs the piece of paper, so I say your booth. But fine, the collective are.
That's
When
awesome.
we're looking this way, you know how like the gentleman with the right across the way to our left.
Okay. The God is dog guy?
Not
Next to them?
God the dyslexic dog. That's directly across. So
Okay.
so all right, you know where that is,
Okay.
and then we know Lady Death is on the corner.
Yeah. Is it
And then we
Lady
have the
Death?
gentleman that's across with the like horse. He does the one with the horse and like the fake dog man.
The horse and fake dog man.
Not the kids' books,
The
right?
kids book.
Oh, that's John Gallagher. Yeah.
Okay. Directly next to him, that shares the space with the wrestling guy.
Okay.
Yes.
That booth had the first turtle book, which I think is like, isn't it like gobbledygook or some crazy thing like that? Like it wasn't even
couldn't
called
tell
like
you.
Turtle. Anyway, he had it and it was like $9,000. or
Yeah,
something
that's crazy.
Yeah, and he sold it.
Yeah,
like, the
I'm sure
first
he
day.
did.
Yeah,
I'm sure
I
he
remember
did.
seeing it. I was like, okay, that's something you don't see every day.
It's
Must be
really
nice.
weird too when you find something like that, like in the wild or even in your collection. You don't remember you had it. It's like, oh, that's just something I have, but to somebody else, that's some impossible thing they've been looking forever.
Oh
And
yeah,
here's my
great.
$9,000 in cash right now.
Right, exactly.
It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah. Well, one last thing before I'm sure you guys have to go. Toxic Avenger. What do we think?
Yeah.
Yeah, check plus.
Looks great.
Looks
Dinklage.
great, right?
How do you go wrong
Yeah.
with Dinklage?
Yeah, and I mean,
Elijah Wood looks great.
Yeah, everything
Kevin
about it.
Bacon's his dad is Elijah Wood's dad. So Kevin Bacon's the big bad guy. Like, how cool is that? Like,
Very cool.
anyway, I think the Toxic Avenger 2 is the next article I'm writing.
Okay.
Nice.
But so I was like looking. I'll probably watch it again this weekend. But like, I'm so excited for this new stupid movie. Like, I feel like it's my Star Wars.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because it's like, I was trying to think about it. I remember 10 years ago, they were going to, one of the studios bought the rights to do the Toxic Avenger. And do you remember, like, there was like a second in time where Schwarzenegger wanted to have association with the Toxic Avenger?
Oh my
He was
God.
going
I
to be in
remember
it.
Yeah.
I think it was like, yeah, anyway. And then there was a time where like Del Toro had the rights. Del Toro studio bought the rights. And I was like, oh my God, could you imagine a Del Toro Toxic Avenger? And that, like, now I'm kind of like, it's the guy who did, not Green Door. What the hell is it called? He did like a horror movie. Anyway, but the director who's doing it, I'm appreciative, and I think he's pretty good. So anyway, but
all my info about Toxic Avenger comes from you. So like when I ran across a picture of Dinklage, and I was just like, I can't wait for Dork because Steve's going to talk about it, even if it's for 10 seconds. It'll be like the most, effective download of Toxic Avengers information possible.
Well, I'm jazzed. It's August 29th. It was funny. It was like only August. I was reading some things that said only August 29th. And I am like, oh my God.
That one day.
How is it only one day that it's going to be in the theater? But I will definitely have that movie ticket for that
And
movie.
that's my birthday.
I know. So
Is
I
that-
think
That's weird.
Is that
That's
true? It's only going to be
Yes.
out theatrically for one day,
I don't.
and that day
that-
is Mark's birthday.
I don't know. That's what it was originally being sold as.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I was going to suggest we have to go see that for your birthday.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
anyway, I thought that was a good. That's a good. I hope that's a good closer for this this one.
Perfect.
Yes.
Oh, it's on the poster. In theaters August. Okay, it doesn't say the 29th, but
Yeah. Oh, it's a yeah, but August 29th. I have it on my calendar already. It's like
oh yeah.
All right.
it's like my wife's birthday, my two daughters' birthday, my wedding anniversary, and when the new Toxic Avenger comes out. I think that's like my most important highlighted dates.
I thought you were going to tell me all of those days were August 29th.
Yeah. Well,
was like,
August
what?
29th is the closest one in my head right now.
How
So.
is that impossible?
Awesome. Well,
All right, gents.
All right.
safe travels to Vegas, Mark.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
sell
stay
too
out of
many,
trouble, man.
and
Yeah.
stay safe. And Larry, say hi to the missus and the young man, and
Yes.
chat
Yeah.
soon.
Same to you.
Bye, guys.
Later, guys.
All right. That was awesome.